I'm going to give you one hypothetical, and then we're going to move on because we got four or five other things. Here's the hypothetical. This guy is the accused has the exact same immigration status as is true that he had, and he's standing on the corner during that event, and he just starts screaming at them from the river to the sea, and down with Jews, and Palestine forever. If you were an advisor to Marco Rubio, and he said, I've seen a live feed of this guy screaming this stuff. I know what his immigration status is. I'm going to deport him right now. Would you say no? Don't do that.
If I were an advisor to Marco Rubio,
yeah. Would you say?
Oh, I would be doing exactly what Republicans are doing. I mean, they're very good at
this.
No,
I'm saying doing the right thing, not the politics. If in other words, would you feel comfortable deporting that guy if he came on your radar and you found out his immigration status, and you came on the radar by shouting things hostile to Israel and to Jews? Would you deport him, or would you say, nah, he can stay even though he's here illegally?
I think, again, it's complicated, and this is one of those situations in which obviously this is deplorable. This is a horrible situation. I just want to, say this over and over again. Yeah. This guy, if he is convicted, which he's probably going to be, he's a madman and he is a terrorist. But right now, that is before we got to that point.
But I'm taking away the violence. I'm just saying, in America in 2025, if you worked at the State Department, right, and he's here illegally and he's shouting these things, would you say, Mr. Secretary, don't deport him?
Yes, I would say that, because that's spilling over into college campuses. And, and again, it's subjective based on what you believe from the river to the sea means. I have my own beliefs. You have your own beliefs. And I'm sure that there are people on college campuses.
But again, he's here illegally.
19 years old.
He's here illegally.
Okay, well, there might be the same situation at a college campus where somebody's outstayed their student visa, and they might be on, it might be a month after the semester ends and they're still there and they have to get a plane ticket back or whatever. There's always there's always going to be some exception to the rule. But again, once you go with that path, where does it end? And Marco Rubio is playing politics, short-term politics. He's not thinking long-term. He's not thinking, when he's president, he's put in the same situation and he has a much more progressive country and it's not a MAGA country, or vice versa. This is about human lives.
It's a country of laws. It's a country.
Yes,
this is not MAGA.
You it on your political agenda.
No, it's not. No, that's the whole point. We've got to get politics out of this. You're injecting your political agenda in this. We're a country of laws.
I don't believe what this guy said. I don't believe with these kids doing the same thing. But I still
in the country illegally. He is breaking our laws and he's undermining our national security. He is to be deported.
This is what you guys said after the Iraq War, right? It's the same thing. It's 2.0. You're always looking for a new excuse to pull away from the Constitution and use terrorism or what you believe.
Still searching for that part of the Constitution.
Nomi, what constitutional right does someone here illegally have to stay in the United States?
Well, there's a difference between deporting somebody because it's true that they have stayed here, that there's proof and evidence that they have been in this country, beyond their visa, and they have a process, and that is a very normal process that people go through. I'm sure we all know people who've gone through this in some way. And then there's whether or not you have a right here as a visitor, as a resident, as somebody who's overstayed their visa, to say things under the lens of free speech. And you guys are morphing these things together.
Just to be clear, Larry and I would deport them if he said nothing. Like we don't need that extra.
Which is yeah.
Well, here's what else,
because that's the law. And if you don't like the law, change the law. It's a beautiful thing.
Larry, you can just say no further questions, Your Honor. And Nomi, please don't take this as condescending, because it's meant to be the opposite. I am so impressed with your fidelity to finding the right balance between national security and civil liberties and the rule of law and human rights. I think it is nothing short of brave to stick to the principles of this when you know full well you're on the wrong side, not just of the politics of this, but of public opinion. Because after 9/11, too few people in this country spoke up and said, the government lies during war, and we cannot do something like the Patriot Act that cashiers our fidelity to civil liberties just because we're in a national crisis. And so I'm very grateful to you for representing the point of view. That's all heartfelt and sincere. And here's the gag kicker. And your party will go down to a massive defeat if they echo what you're saying, because that position is just not popular. Civil liberties often aren't popular, but I think what we've seen in the last 6 months or so is that the country does not believe in some sort of basket of civil liberties for people here illegally. Just don't believe in it.
I agree with you, but I also think, and I know this is slightly unpopular, but if you really look at the top 3 issues people are voting on and the margins of the loss of Kamala Harris in those 7 swing states, it wasn't on civil liberties, and it wasn't even on immigration. I think it had to do with, the economy. That's pretty much it. And did she show up?
I think more of it than you do was on civil liberties. I mean, on the border,
border security,
and the border, and
law and order.
Well, I think it's on competence. First of all, it's on wanting a secure border. Second, it's on competence, and third, it's on understanding the American people. The failure of Joe Biden to ever express outrage about the open border, people just said that guy's not. And same with Kamala Harris. Those two are not understanding what we feel about our country. So,
but look, I'm in Arizona right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 45 minutes from the border, right?
Yeah.
Right where I am right now. And this is a city, Tucson, Arizona, where I am, is blue as you can get.
Yeah.
Ruben Gallego was elected U.S. Senator.
Yeah.
This is a place that actually deeply understands the border issues and simultaneously has a movement that talks about this all day long. It doesn't work. I don't think at the end of the day, that is a top 4 issue. I think it is something that's in the media. I think the polling says that people care about it. But when it comes down to voting and looking at those margins, that little margin wasn't voting on immigration. That little margin was voting on, did Kamala Harris feel my pain and the economy? And she didn't show up. Like, that's it.
Larry and I respectfully disagree with you.
I'm torn between wanting to win the argument versus wanting every Democrat to listen to Nomi and follow her lead on this. Because
like what you see, why don't you subscribe? This is a great opportunity to be part of unique conversations. Just hit the subscribe button. And if you want to watch our events live, go to twoway.tv.